Hello Internet, it's your man Scruffy here. I'm going to be jamming a little bit of Clinkz. This is Turbo Mode. For those of you unfamiliar, Turbo Mode is just basically a way of Dota making a revamped version of all pick. It is a replay commentary, and to explain it very simply, in Turbo Mode your gold gain is much higher, your experience gain is much higher, towers are weaker, so everything just happens a hell of a lot faster in this game. Okay? The reason I chose Clinkz, it wasn't a specific counter pick, it wasn't specifically strategic. I specifically just like the hero, to be 100% honest with you. I've got a cool set for him. I think he does some really cool alternative stuff. I'm not the best Clinkz player in the world, but I do thoroughly enjoy the hero, and I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy this replay commentary. So let's get stuck in. In our team, we've got a Drow, we've got a Viper, and we've got myself. Now, the Drow aura buffing the Viper and myself means the damage we are going to dish out, as well as the Lion, is going to be absolutely crazy. We've also got a DK in our team, so what that means is we also just have the little bit of tankiness we need. Viper also tends to be a tanky hero. But in terms of who is going to be our main muscle, that is definitely going to be the Dragon Knight. On their team, they've got an Axe, a Spectre, a Sven, a Quap. These are all very scary heroes. Kunkka as well can be crazy scary. I have a feeling Kunkka is going to be up in the support. I see the Queen of Pain going mid. And then, oh my goodness, here pops up a Sven. So I'm just thinking, alright, skill my Searing Arrows first, and just start doing a little bit of damage to him. You know, really just eat into him a little bit, make him use some of that regen. Anything to just make it happen a little bit, just to get him down a little bit, put him on a bit of a back foot. Because I think when it comes to a matchup like this, it's very hard to say that Clinkz himself specifically has the advantage. You know, we are up against a Sven, that cleave can hurt. Clinkz himself is not a relatively tanky hero in respect to others. Sven can take quite a couple of hits, so we're just here to see him. Then, oh, okay, there's a Kunkka also in lane. So what this means is we also got to watch out for that Kunkka cleave. That's also just that little bit of damage all the time. So, you know, we're up here with the DK. He is trying to get last hits as well as us. It's really just a game of harassment. Who can scare the other guy off? Struggling with my last hits a little bit in the early stages of this game, but that also has something to do with the DK. You know, DK last hitting is a lot better than mine, especially in the early stages. I know you're thinking, no, but this is a Clinkz. Clinkz is all about right click. You're 100% correct in making that statement. However, it takes a little bit of time for Clinkz to get there. It takes a little bit of time for Clinkz to really start dealing enough damage that those right clicks matter. You know, obviously, as you can see, my Searing Arrows do put the hurt on, but when it comes to right clicks, there's a delay in my attack speed and so on, so it's not 100% ideal. I tried just getting a couple of ticks of damage there. You know, I activated my strafe just to get those 2 or 3 attacks in. It really upgrades my DPS, and it allows me to put a little bit of hurt on them, harass him out, push him away, give myself a little bit of breathing room. So we're just kind of sitting back, chilling in this lane, hoping to just try get our last hits. Because I'm seeing that my DK is doing well with his last hitting, all I'm trying to do is harass the heroes around him. DK being a melee puts him in range of these cleaves. It means that he is susceptible to all these, like that Kunkka crit cleave right there. You know, so if I can harass, it just scares the opponents off so that I at least have a shot of getting some experience myself and getting my guaranteeing my DK that last hit. That's kind of the plan here. Of course, I'm trying to get some last hits myself. Like I said, this isn't a full team, this is solo queuing. So what this basically means is that I'm not playing with a full team, these are all just individuals. Now, if you wonder why I didn't get stunned up by the Sven there when he casted that stun on me, it's very simple. The strafe here. Clinkz nimbly attacks with a barrage of arrows, dramatically increases attack speed for a short time, and grants Clinkz the ability to automatically dodge up to 3 projectiles. Now, this was a buff that came in 7.07, and basically what this means is up to 3 projectile hits Clinkz can dodge. Now, this is significant because that Sven stun counts as a projectile. It is a stun moving towards my hero, so my Clinkz can technically dodge out of that. Now, that is something I should have been utilizing a lot more in this game, but this was my first time playing the hero on the new patch. So this is significant because you know, if you are getting hit by projectile hits, like for example I think it's called the phase ship from the Spectre, that's a point target ability that I can also strafe out of. Now also, to make another note, for those of you that were looking and wonder how the hell am I buying stuff out of nowhere, that is also a perk in turbo mode. In turbo mode, you don't need to be at a shop to purchase items. You can purchase any item from anywhere in the map, regardless of if a secret shop is required or not. You can literally buy whatever you want from anywhere. So it's really fun for players starting out with the game. I've mentioned before in one of my previous videos that I absolutely love turbo mode. I think turbo mode is a great addition to Dota. I feel like it is great for the game. It's a great addition simply because, you know, it enables new players to really just experiment with the game, push the limits, see what the game can do. You know, and even for experienced players, if you're just looking for a little bit of a bugger around, you don't really want to commit a full hour into gameplay, then, you know, this is something you should seriously consider. So what am I going for here? Okay, in the beginning I just thought of going for a Medallion of Courage. It's a build I've seen quite a lot of, with a lot of good results. You know, it gives you everything that Clinkz needs. Clinkz needs that little bit of extra basic armor that comes from the chainmail. You know, you have your Sage's Mask in there. It really gives you that little bit of regen, that mana regen, that bit of evasion if people are trying to click you down. And of course the armor reduction is absolutely fantastic. And of course it then scales into a solar crest, which then also makes a nice big difference for your hero. Obviously you'll also notice couriers are no longer a thing in turbo mode because they're absolutely unnecessary. You don't need a courier because you can buy any item from anywhere. Obviously this, people will eventually start abusing the system. I mean, you can think of stuff like, for example, buying a dust on the fly or buying a smoke out of nowhere, quickly activating it and just getting away. That is for the higher skill tier players, but I also feel like those kind of higher skill tier players you won't see as much of in this mode, in my personal opinion. Simply because those kind of skill tier players are more your ranked players, the people who play Dota a lot more. And sure, if you do find them, I mean, if you have to put up with that, if you have to put up with a higher skill tier player absolutely you know, taking advantage of the specific game mode's mechanics and really just abusing it, you only have to do so for 20 minutes or so. Look, don't get me wrong, you do get your longer turbo matches, but in general, I find this mode to be much, much quicker. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of spoilers here. This does tend to be an exception. This is obviously a little bit of a longer game. You guys can see that from the video description that this is a bit of a longer game. And it ran very long for a turbo game. But I also thought it was a hell of a lot of fun. And I thought it would be a great way to showcase the mode and show what happens if a game actually does tend to run a little bit longer in turbo. What kind of shenanigans we can get up to. As Clinkz, just to point out some things about the hero. Mana is always a problem. Mana is always a problem. You are never going to have enough mana with Clinkz unless you're very deep into the game. So that's why things like Medallion of Courage with that little bit of mana regeneration, that little bit of armor, every little buff to Clinkz makes a difference. So, you know, also having the Ring of Aquila is just great for Clinkz. It gives you that bit of protection, it gives you that agility. And now I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm here, I see a Spectre, I see an Axe. Am I going to go in or am I going to back up? And I thought, you know what, let me just try get in. And then that taunt just hit me. I was definitely not paying enough attention there. And of course here comes the Quap. So I'm thinking, can I trade hits? Fantastic. Worked out great for me. Let me just go invis, get out. Take that kill. I got lucky that Quap extended a little deep under my tower. Overestimated how much damage she could do. And of course she did not expect me to have this medallion. Upgrade straight to a solar crest. It's really not an expensive item. I mean, it can be disassembled. It gives me the armor, the mana regen, the evasion, all just good stuff. I rushed it ahead of my boots just because I feel like it's a great initiation tool for me. It's a great way for me to jump in, minus armor, then you know you activate your strafe and your searing arrows and you just start pumping that damage in. Whether this is the optimal build, that is up to debate. You know, I am not a pro player. I do not follow the pro circuit nearly enough to know what the current meta is and what the best way to do things are. And granted, this is still a new patch and people are figuring this out, but this Solar Crest build tended to be more of a pre-patch build, but in my opinion it still works. But you know what, tell you what, why don't you guys watch this game and then you can decide for yourself, you know what, is this the kind of build that I want to build on my Clinkz, or do I think this is really suboptimal and I can take this another way? I'm debating going in here. I'm a little bit scared. I'm by myself. That that right there, you know what, the Spectre, you know what, I don't think that was the right call. But the reason I decided to try go on the Spectre rather than the Quap is I was scared. You know what, I go in on the Quap and he just blinks away. I throw everything at him, I get a couple of hits in, I do my damage, but then he'll just blink out and then he's gone. So I thought the Spectre was the more viable option. Lucky for me, that Drow jumped in and secured the kill. But as you can see, this is very much a give and take, and I find it so funny. It's easy to see on the replay, but this game feels a lot closer than a 6k gold advantage. You know, this game, to me, while I was in-game, felt like this was right on the borderline. We were not ahead. You know, it's 5-5. Sure, we've got some tower advantages, but I'm a Clinkz. That's what Clinkz does. Clinkz runs in and he hits towers. For those of you who don't know, this bonus damage also affects towers. Searing Arrow deals damage to structures. The damage is directly added to my damage as physical. So when I activate this Searing Arrows, it does also do that extra damage to towers themselves. So, you know, if you have a Clinkz, you activate your strafe, it gives you bonus attack speed of 200, it lasts for 3 seconds, and then you add those Searing Arrows and then suddenly you're just melting towers. That's what Clinkz does. So that's pretty much what I'm building around. Now, why did I go TP boots? Because I'm playing turbo mode. I went TP boots simply because I know in turbo mode this game tends to be a lot quicker, things tend to happen a lot faster, and your towers can drop a hell of a lot faster. So I felt like in this specific mode, straight TP boots were a better way to go. You know, granted, I didn't have a great kill lead, I didn't have a great kill score. However, I felt confident that I was getting decent farm. You know, I felt like I haven't died yet. I'm roaming around, I'm being active, I'm getting stuff done, and I'm getting something out of it. So why not get the TP boots? Why not be able to just zip all over the map as I see fit? Unfortunately, there was no ways to save this tower here. I did go in, but I should have just resigned myself to the fact that that tower was going to go down. You know, there are too many creeps around them, there are too many heroes there, but I was hoping to maybe get a pick off on the axe. It works out, and then I think Kunka. Activate my Searing Arrows, activate my strafe, get that damage in, off he goes. I didn't get the kill, I didn't get the kills myself. The Viper got the kills, but that's good for our team. I mean, our Viper leveling up and getting the kills is just great for us as well. You know, and I'm a strong proponent of that. I don't believe in kill stealing. Obviously, sometimes you want your carry to get that experience, you want him to get those kills, you want him to get more levels and experience and gold out of it, simply because he needs it more than you do if he's playing your position 1. But in the same breath, I feel like, you know, if I get the kill or if my Viper gets the kill, the team still gets the kill. Rather go in for that kill secure and get the kill, then leave it and then run the risk of actually missing out on that kill for your team, if that makes sense. Okay, this Spectre was just chasing me down. I had no mana. He was draining me. You know, there was nothing I could really do there. I could have maybe run into the jungle. That could have been a possibility, but overall, you know, he jumped in there, used his ult, he got me, so be it. I'm just thinking to myself, okay team, we really need to get back in here. That tower runs the risk of getting dropped. I mean, we do have a DK, he's scary, he's tanky, but shit. A Spectre and a Kunka, and then I saw this Blade Mail and this Invis, and I thought to myself, fantastic play. Spectre doesn't want to hit himself. Kunka doesn't want to hit himself. They can't take the damage they deal. So I see my team going in, I see a Drow, I think to myself, okay, TP in, let's see what we can do. Maybe this Spectre can drop, you know, he's got tunnel vision on that Drow and it works out. So I think, okay, can we get the Kunka? Got the minus armor, it's not enough. Looking back on this game, I think a slow would have been great for me as a Clinkz. The Oblivion Staff on its own though is actually fantastic. I'm going for a really greedy build. It's turbo mode, hey, why the hell not? Going for a super greedy build here. So I want to get my Bloodthorn. I'm already going for my I've got the one Oblivion Staff, working on the second Oblivion Staff, get that Orchid, you know, because I feel like those silences will be great to deal with that Kunker, because, you know, he's got that new talent that just has those ghost ships going in and one after the other, after the other, after the other. So if you can silence him and prevent him from Xing you, from hitting you with that torrent, all that kind of stuff, it's just great. It's just a great item to have. You know, it's going to sound really silly, but, you know, it helps against the Sven. He can't activate his God mode. You know, if you upgrade it to that Bloodthorn, suddenly you're doing so much more damage to a Sven, even if he's got his ult off. So there we go. Like, even now, you can see that Solar Crest doing work. That minus armor means even though that Sven was in his ult, we just melted him. There was nothing he could do about it. And, you know, that silence as well, just to bring it up one more time, is just great for that Quap as well. You know, Quap has so many tools at her disposal. She's got her Scream, she's got that Blink, she's got those daggers. She's heavily spell dependent. Quap can't just sit there and right-click you. Don't get me wrong, she does very decent right-click damage, but she can't just... If all she has is her right-click, she's really left with pretty much nothing in comparison to how much utility she has when she actually has all of those abilities at her disposal. So anyway, now I see the Axe and the Spectre going in on this tower, and I'm thinking to myself, how on earth, I can't fight this, what can I do? If I reveal myself, they're just going to pick me off and I'm just going to die. But you know what, maybe I can scare him off. It ends up working. I'm hoping that maybe I can get a bit of a chase. Maybe he doesn't think I'm going to follow him that far. Luckily that Axe misses his call, but unfortunately that Spectre is just way too tanky for me. I'm hoping I can juke him through the trees. I just need those 2 seconds to go invis, and there's the rest of my team. So I'm just thinking, okay, save my invis, rotate in again, and there's a Sven. And I'm thinking, okay, minus armor before he can do anything, and he's done. Now here comes that Kunker boat, dodge that, try get those hits in. I'm hoping, there he goes. Fantastic. Fantastic. And that's the power of your Clinkz with the Solar Crest. You know, that's why, in my personal opinion, I feel like a Solar Crest is a better item on Clinkz than Deso. I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with me, but in my opinion it's better simply because Clinkz wants that minus armor. But why not push for something that gives minus armor for the whole team to take advantage of? Because granted, Desolator is not single target. If you hit anyone with the Desolator, you get that minus armor. However, you know, if you're playing a bit of a fighting game, which is what this is, you know, this game has been a hell of a lot of fighting, a lot of team fights. If I hit that Solar Crest, look how quickly they melted that Quap. Because I've got my Drow hitting him, I've got my Viper hitting him, and oh my goodness, I just got melted. In case you missed that, it was very simple. Spectre hit me with the Desolate, you got the stun out from the Sven, and then, you know, he just ults and cleaves me down and I just drop. Something I should be doing a lot more of is using this ultimate, my Death Pact. I'm not using that nearly enough. There's no excuse for that. That is simply sloppy play. That should be on cooldown 24/7. Because it just gives you so much. That strength gain. Okay, you know what, for those of you who don't play a lot of Clinkz, just to show you, Clinkz consumes a target friendly or enemy creep, gaining percentage of its hit points as max health and damage. So if you get a nice tanky creep, you can tank yourself up as Clinkz. Alright, and it's this point where I start to get a little bit worried. Like I say, here you guys can see on the replay that there's this 4k lead, but all I see is, oh crap, we got team wiped. They just completely wrecked us. Completely. One hero for 4, that is not worth it. Sure, we've got a bit of a tower lead, but I'm so scared these guys are just going to come back and just push straight through everything we got left. Luckily, this is turbo mode, so, you know, the death cooldown is a lot less. I must admit, I casted that way too late. And I'm taking heavy damage from the Desolate on that Spectre. Spectre's scary, man. You know, he gets his Radiance going on, he's doing damage to you, he's tanky as all hell, you can't hit him, you can't do anything about him. It's just pretty much, you know, you just got to find some other way to deal with him. So there we go. Now obviously, as you guys can see, I get that damage and health increase, which is something that I should have all the time. My apologies. Alrighty, you know, farming up some ancients here. Really just want to finish up that Bloodthorn. Super greedy build. It's really not the right way to play. You know what, actually I think that's the wrong statement, but with Dota in most cases you want to build yourself a pyramid. You know, you want to build that base of good early game items just to give you those base stats, that survivability, that early fighting potential, the farming abilities, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to actually playing this turbo mode, I just decided greed, greed, greed. I want big items, I want scary items, I just want to do stuff. Okay, we did get this disconnect from the Quap, but don't worry, she does come back. No, my mistake, she actually doesn't come back, unfortunately. She just drops out right there. But I still think it's an absolutely fun game considering how this keeps going. I'm sure you guys will be able to see that as well in a second. You know, so if we're to just look at the gold graph here for a second, you know, it's actually a lot closer than it seems. You know, there's only a 1k advantage. We had a big advantage up until this point, and then it just dropped out really heavily. And then this axe just starts doing work, and I'm starting to get nervous. So all I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get my rat on. Do my Clinkz thing, get my rat on, get out. Run in, drop a tower, run away. Simple as that. Problem is these guys tend to have the same idea, which is in of itself a little bit scary. But you know, I did TP back, that's why I've got the boots, that's what they're there for. So I must admit, the one thing that that I don't take into consideration is the fact that the duration on this thing, I feel like it got nerfed. I don't know if I really need to check the patch notes, but it feels like a nerf to me. I'm not sure if it actually did get nerfed according to the patch notes, but to me it really felt like this thing got nerfed properly. But again, I stand to correction. And of course there's just more and more damage coming from that axe, and that's just getting scarier and scarier. Doing what I can to farm, doing what I can to defend. And there's the taunt. Ow, scary. Ow, scary. Sven comes in, puts the hurt in on me. But just to put this into perspective for you guys, for turbo mode, we are now at 21 minutes in this game, and I'm on level 25. I mean, if we look at the general levels of everyone here is pretty much on level 25. So, usually these games aren't very drawn out, simply by virtue of that's how the game mode is designed to be. Luckily for us, we got a little bit of a rat coming in from that drow. Way to go. Scary stuff, but you know what, even if he has to sacrifice himself for the good. Unfortunate. Half health, luckily it's the ranged, so it doesn't respawn health. But the problem is these guys are just going to work. Got a buyback from the lion. At least he's stopping the axe from completely wrecking those towers, but really putting in the hurt. 10 seconds to my respawn. The lion just ate a chunk of damage from that blade mail. But here's Viper, and Viper can be a really scary hero. Give Viper the tiniest amount of space, and he can just get out of hand super quickly. Alright. Now keep in mind, with defense to the other team, they are now playing without their Quap. Their Quap is no longer in the game. And they are still really giving us a run for our money. I mean, they're ahead. They've killed our racks. Mid-racks belongs to them. Massive push coming out on our safe lane. So, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, sort that whole thing out. But again, kudos to that team. They're really doing the work, even playing a player down. So yeah, I'm just going for my Butterfly here. I feel like I want the attack speed, I feel like I want the agility, the armor bonus, the overall damage output, the evasion. All of that stuff works well for me, because after looking at their team, I thought to myself, you know, they do have some right clickers. That Sven can hurt me if he gets the hits in. Kunkka can hurt me if he gets the hits in. Spectre definitely hurts me if he gets the hits in. A little bit of extra evasion won't hurt me.
They're running full spread at Radiant's bottom barracks.
Here, I really should have pulled a neutral creep. I should have eaten a creep right there. It was sloppy play of me not to. It's just I haven't played Clinkz for a long time, man. That's all I got. I got no other excuse. I should definitely have done that. But here I just thought, okay, rat Clinkz to the rescue. And look at that. That's Clinkz. 3 hits, no more tower, no more barracks. Just like that. And now, in case you didn't know what was going on there, at level 25 you get Searing Arrows multi-shot. So when you cast those Searing Arrows, you just get multi-shot in, so you can really do damage to the buildings. Minus armor, dead Sven. Couple of hits, dead tower. If I have to sacrifice my life for the tower, worth it. That gust saved me there. That silence was a godsend. And now I'm just hoping to cart this axe, you know. And then that Sven stun. Huge stun by the Sven. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I'm buying back anyway. I'm going to buy back. I have to buy back. Everyone else is dead. Might as well get that timer ticking. So in case you're wondering what that buyback was, it wasn't rage. I wasn't thinking to myself, screw this guy, I have to come back in. No. That was more just, you know what? I know I'm going to buy back. I need to buy back. Our team needs me to buy back, so why not just do it right away, get the timer ticking, and start getting gold and building my money back again. I see the Sven and I'm thinking, okay. And then that damage. That damage is just disgusting. I'm wondering if he's going to get away from me. Luckily for me, the cooldown on that thing is nothing. He looks like he resigned himself and then he realized, oh sure, but he can take me. Luckily I got the invis, got away from the taunt. I really don't want to hit that axe with that blade mail active. Okay, go in, couple of hits, boom, big lion ults. That's what you like to see. That's what you like to see. If that drow can get 1 hit in, we don't have any stuns. Gust unfortunately doesn't cancel TP, which is something I find really interesting. He is TPing and he gets knocked back. Surely that is changing the position of the hero. I feel like that should interrupt TPs. But granted, I'm not a Dota expert. I didn't design the game. Who am I to question these things? Just seems a little bit silly, in my opinion. So anyway, we've almost got our butterfly now. It's been a bit of a long haul. Keep in mind, we did buy back. There's been a lot of fighting, a lot of dying. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, what must I do? Well, eat a creep. That is the first thing I should have been doing ages ago. Usually that centaur is probably one of the best creeps to get, simply because he's one of the tankiest. And Clinkz's ult is dependent on the creep he eats. So obviously if the Clinkz eats a tankier hero, he gets more of a bonus from his ult. Simple as that. Okay, that Dragon Knight was going in a little bit deep on his own. I understand his thinking there. He was hoping, you know what, if I just go in, I'm a tanky Dragon Knight, I can stand there, I can really just hit the towers, and then if they kill me, so be it, I'll take the barracks out in the meantime. However, that Spectre, man, that Spectre with those items is scary. Absolutely scary. I should have helped my line there, but I was really worried about backup. I had to scout out the fact that there was no other backup before I went in, or else I would have just got hit. Please excuse me for that one. And there we go. That minus armor, that drow aura, that the gust, all of that kind of stuff working in my favor. Then I see the axe and I'm thinking, okay, can I get him? I hit him with a Bloodthorn, I hit him with a Solar Crest, maybe I got a chance, but is it worth it? Is it worth taking that risk? Because there's a Kunker. And then I think, you know what? Backdoor protection. Do I just rat? And then he sees me. So I panic and I just back up. If there was no backdoor protection on those barracks, I would have gone in for it no problem. But it's not worth it for me to try there, simply because I don't know how much damage I'm going to do, and if I'm in their base by myself, they are just going to jump in and completely hurt me. I'm just not going to make it. So I'm just thinking to myself, just keep farming. Just keep farming. Whatever else happens, I mean, we've got slots to upgrade our stuff a little bit more, but I mean, pretty much I've got the items I need. The farming is just for buyback, and you know, that's a problem a lot of players make. You feel like you're ahead, so you stop farming. You stop trying to get gold wherever you can, and I think that's wrong. So here I see a DD, and I'm thinking, you know what, Rashawn, why the hell not? I got a DD, I got the minus armor. Love that that happened. I wasn't sure if the Bloodthorn would pop his Lincoln, so I just went for it. The cooldown's not that bad on it, so I just thought I'd give it a bash. And then there's a Spectre, and I'm thinking to myself, oh no. Oh no, here's a Spectre, he sees me. Will they let me go for a Sean? And I see two of their heroes, the Spectre there in the bottom lane, and the Axe in the top lane, so I think if I can quickly just sneak it, that's going to do me the world of good. Grab myself the Aegis, get back into it. Then I see the Axe. I'm thinking, okay, Axe is alone. If I come in, he's probably going to blink black, so let me just stay behind a little bit, and hopefully we can get the pick off. Looking around, and I don't see him. Disappointing. So I think TP to the bottom, see if we can get the Spectre. That silence really helped us, because then he couldn't do anything else. The mana drain was also fantastic. They just took him out. Also, just as a side note, for those of you who don't know, Bloodthorn doesn't only silence, it also increases 30% to all damage taken during the silence. This damage is magic, and boom, I just get jumped by the Axe. Wasn't much I could do about that. Hoping I can get the damage in on him, but TP's out. Luckily, just pop my Aegis. I myself am okay. Don't lose anything on that. Sure, he gets rid of my Aegis, but I mean, if that's how it's got to be, then that's how it's got to be. Should probably wait for my team, but I see them pushing the top, so I'm thinking, okay, my team is pushing top. They're going to draw a lot of the enemy. Maybe I can run in and get those mid barracks. Maybe I can rat it out. That's the plan. The reason I'm coming in from this side is simply because it doesn't matter which side I come in from. I felt like this was closer. They won't have vision here because of the towers. And then I see another Kunk, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So I decided to just go help out top. The backdoor protection will still be on those middle barracks, so it's not worth it for me to try go in. So now, you know, just push out the lane, try get my creeps in there, try get rid of that backdoor protection, and really just become disruptive. That's the goal here. I know I should be helping my team, but I really feel like the push should be a bigger priority. Because, you see, while all this disruption is happening, I'm just looking to find a way back into their base. That's all I'm doing. I'm looking for a way back into their base. I see a Sven. I'm not going to go in on him. He's not important. Backdoor protection is off. There goes their barracks. Just like that. It's all I've wanted to do this whole time. It's not worth it for me to go in on their heroes because I'm just not going to get those pickoffs on my own. You know, I'm by myself up in the front. Sure, I had the lion, but it's not enough damage. You know, I feel like it is far more beneficial to my team if I can get those racks instead. Went for the Assault Cuirass because I just thought to myself, you know what, I need to tank up. I don't do enough damage to just burst someone down and go invisible anymore. I just don't have that damage. Everyone's at a point now in this game where they are very, very tanky, and the fights are going to be drawn out a little longer. So if I can tank myself up and help us push, then that's going to be my goal. Okay, I see the three heroes here. I'm not sure what I can do by myself. Spectre, he gets himself in a little bit deep. I tried to just avoid this, and luckily I get out of that torrent. Luckily he misses that torrent, going for the split shots, and that was sloppy play by me. Ran right into that boat. There's no excuse for that. That was just terrible. I should not have run into that boat. But hey, it's okay. So far it's still looking alright. Our creeps are pushing in. We're doing damage to towers. So far we've got 1.5 lane of racks, you could call it. They've only got the mid lane. We've got the bottom lane down here. And we've got one barracks there in the mid lane. So far it's still looking in our favor. I'm dead for like ever. So unfortunately I'm just depending on my team to push here. But this is also why I got the TB boots. You know, I got the TB boots because the TP will allow me to just jump right back into their base if my creeps make it in. Also another interesting tidbit, I don't know if you guys noticed there earlier, the range and melee barracks now look different. So you can easily differentiate just by sight which is which is also great for new players. And I think that's also a fantastic thing. You know, I feel like Dota making itself more available for new players is just healthy for the game. To give you a for instance, I recently learned, I'm from South Africa. There are no longer South Africa ranked servers. Now with the new update and how they changed the ranked gameplay, South Africans can now no longer play ranked as part of their own local servers. There just aren't enough players. And what was happening was people were taking advantage of South African servers to abuse the ranked system gameplay. Now, the reason this is unfortunate for me is you don't lose anything on gameplay changing servers, but for South Africans, ping everywhere else is over 300. So it makes ranked gameplay almost impossible, especially if you're playing at the higher tiers. Because 300 ping is something that you can't just ignore, especially in a ranked game. Because I was very interested in starting up with ranked. I play a lot of unranked gameplay. And the reason I wanted to go into ranked is because I feel like it's a bit more try-hard. I know that sounds very silly, and it sounds like something people tend to avoid, but if you can associate yourself with people that are really looking to win, they tend to fulfill their roles a lot better, and you tend to have more fun playing the game. And I feel like the equivalency can be found in sport. I know I'm an avid basketball player. I do enjoy my basketball, believe it or not, being a South African. And when I was playing basketball with people that knew how to play basketball, short was a little bit more competitive, but that was part of the fun. It becomes a lot less frustrating if you're playing with people who know what they're doing. So yeah, that's just my little 2 cents on that kind of thing. So yeah, like I said, I've got a surplus of money. I've got more money than I know what to do with. I'm sitting on 8.5 grand, but just putting yourself in that habit of always farming is a good thing, no matter where you're sitting in the game. Because then what happens is it turns into a habit when you're behind as well. It's something that you no longer have to think about, something that no longer has to be an active thought process. And there, for example, you guys saw another example of my strafe allowing me to dodge the Sven stun. So I'm debating the buyback here. I'm not sure. But I'm sitting there going, do I want to be dead for 60 seconds? Do I want to live? Is it worth the buyback? And then I thought to myself, you know what? Let me probably rather wait around. I have the money for buyback, but it's not worth it. If they wipe us here, I need to be able to buy back. I need to be able to be present, because that is a big thing in Dota as well. Sometimes the opposition team will hold off on doing hard pushes simply because there are players on the map. They don't necessarily have to be in the base, but just knowing, oh goodness, Clinkz is alive. Clinkz can hurt me. I should maybe be a little bit more careful. That is something that is actually quite important. So because we got 3 lanes of racks, because we got megas incoming, I just thought I'd be silly. I bought a heart. Is that the right choice? Probably not. But I thought, let me just tank up, let me just see if I can't survive a little bit more, because it feels like I'm just being melted a little bit too quickly, especially by that Sven and that Kunker. Kunker crits, Sven hits you a couple of times in God mode, you are now a dead Clinkz. Look, and these guys do come back, they're doing their part, they're pushing really hard to get in there, but we do have megas. That is something to always keep in mind. Having megas is a big deal. The Spectre got a little bit cocky. Really thought that line was going to not have any help. Luckily, I respawned just in time, was able to quickly strafe in. I think that's what it's called. No, skeleton walk in. Then activate my strafe, get that damage out. Obviously, you go Solar Crest into Bloodthorn, or Bloodthorn into Solar Crest, whichever, and then melt him. Even a Spectre can't keep up with that. Spectre is scary, but that's a lot of damage. And of course, Clinkz will just dish out the rest. You've also got your Assault Cuirass with all its minus armor. So it's just overall, he just hurts, So yeah, here I am just trying to make my way in as quick as possible. I'm thinking to myself, okay, Spectre's down, their big hero is down. Sure, Sven is still around, but I see the Kunker down there. I see the Quap being committed that side. Can I rat? Activate my strafe. I stand here. Oh no. And then they've just gone ahead and activated backdoor protection. Now I'm worried. I'm silenced. I go invis. Luckily they missed the taunt. The strafe. Strafe unfortunately didn't save me there from that stun, but I was out of their vision. I got out of tower range, got out of their vision. Even though they got the stun off, there was nothing they could do. So right now I'm just farming up a little bit, letting my heart respawn, getting my health back, and I'm going right back in. Simple as that. Now I've got a bit of backup, got a little bit of help. Viper's in there. Like I said before, Viper is just super scary. So in we go. trying my same strategy. The reason I stand so close to the towers there is because I want to guarantee the multi-shot. I want to guarantee that I can get away. I mean that I can get it off. That those searing arrows can really just hit everybody. Taunt connects. Unlucky. And I just decide, you know what, I'm buying back. They used everything on me there. They're not going to be able to do it again. You know, Kunker's dropped his ult. Axe has dropped his taunt. As you can see, they are micromanaging the Queen of Pain, which I thought was kind of cute. You know, just making sure they get her ult in there every little bit they can to help. Which also just shows you these guys were really try hard, which is fun. You know, it's a fun game. It's fun when people are really trying their hardest to win. It really just makes for a more entertaining little bit of gameplay. As you can see, I learned my lesson about those ghost ships, more or less. Dodge the one, get hit by the other one. I really need to get used to how many of those actually connect. And then I waited for him to cast the X to silence him. That was intentional. I wanted him to cast the X first, simply because if he's casted the X and I silence him after, the X becomes irrelevant. X marks the spot is no longer relevant. Wipe them out, pick up a casual Divine Rapier, GG. So there you go, guys. That was Turbo Mode. That was a little bit of Clinkz gameplay. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Stick around for more stuff from me. And that's it. Scruffy out.